Wow. You know, first of all, I thought that was really wonderful, and I have been in the industry in a lot of different ways. I mean, everything. And I sang in a group, I sang with Linda Tillery in a Cultural Heritage Choir, and one of the main things about being in that group was learning how to blend together, because we all weren't soloists at the same time. And that's a difficult thing, and one of the things that really struck me is how do you come together and blend and enhance what the soloist is singing. And how do you maintain your integrity as a singer and as an individual while lifting up that song. It's not a simple thing to do. And first of all, I gotta say, these people were knocking me out. I mean, just a moment for, come on. There is that gift, that knowing that is why you are here. To use your voice in that way, to uplift. And I have been in all of these kinds of situations, and I'll tell you, that frustration of being in a group and wanting to be in the front sometimes. I have to say that I have been very, very blessed in my life. And I'm a female bass, as you might be able to hear by my sound. So I am not a wailer. But it's really something when you turn that radio on and you hear your voice in the background and you go, wow. I was there. Got to sing with Wilson Pickett, and when you hear the recording and I hear my voice and I'm like, oh my God, that's me, Wilson Pickett. Can it get any better than that? Wow. So I understand what's happening in this film. And that idea of some days you're out there, you're on the road, you're doing it. Cultural Heritage Choir was nominated for a Grammy. We're out there, we're doing everything. And then you have those periods when nothing is happening. You are washing dishes and cleaning houses and teaching lots of little kids and all that kind of stuff. So if you can ask me any questions that you want, any comments, that'd be great. And I think that there should be a time during this where we are all going to sing together, just saying. I'm not kidding.
You won't get me on the mic.
You don't have to be on the mic.
Yeah, I'll sing way over there.
That's right.
Hi, as one of those white people who can't sing, but those background singers always let me sing along, and I love them, and I'm so glad to get this background on them. But just there were a whole bunch of little side comments suggesting the terrible musical industry, and that just you have artists and you have wonderful people, and then you have these cynical money makers. And is there something that could you comment on that a little bit?
Oh boy, it is true. I mean, you do have, it's a seamy side of things, because we had some friends who, this amazing band who signed to this label, made the album, did the whole thing, was ready for the release, and then the company decided not to release the album. And not only that, they never got their music back. These are the sorts of things that happen. And, like Darlene was saying, that, you'll hear your voice, and it's somebody else's name is on that. And you have to fight for years. How many musicians and artists never got paid any royalties for the things that they do? And that absolutely does happen. And then, I have heard my voice on like film things, documentary things, and I go, hey, that's me, and never got contacted. So those things really, really do happen. And then you have people like the musician Farron, who was signed up to Warner Brothers and just got sick of it and started producing her music herself, because you have power. Because when you sign to a contract, to a record company, people think, my students always say, wow, Mr. Moore, you must be famous. You have a record. I'm like, But primarily, you know, if you're signed to a record company, the most that an artist gets is like 14%. All the rest of it goes back into the company who does that. We all think that that's the thing. And so that's why a lot of artists now self-produce and do their own releasing it independently, because I'm telling you, it is tough. I mean, Cultural Heritage Bar was signed to a label for a while. It was very, very, very difficult because they want you to do things a particular way. And if you don't, for instance, we had an experience where we were recording one of the songs for our children's album that was nominated for a Grammy, Shaking a Tail Feather with Taj Mahal. And they picked out the musicians for one of these songs. And then because this one was accompanied. And so we laid down our vocal tracks, and then they put this band together, and it was so, we looked at each other and said, so it was kind of like having Aretha Franklin backed up by the New Christy Minstrel Singers or something. It was bad. I mean, it was so not representative of who we were, and we said, we cannot put that out in the world. That doesn't represent who we are. That's just, it's wrong. So we had to fight tooth and nail to bring in some musicians that fit what we were doing, and it was a fight. But we finally got it done, because they're like, well, we'll use your voice and then we'll put in the music. And it was terrible. So I know what that's like too. Yeah.